Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to start this lesson off by giving all the praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakudash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Honors to all the brothers who are fervently preaching the word in sincerity and in faith. And Shalom to all the sincere believers. Now, this lesson is going to be based on big storms that are heading for California and the U.S. West starting in mid-February. So through the Spirit, I'm going to read this article, get some precepts, and Lord's will, you're edified. It says, it is possible the series of storms next week in California delivers close to an entire month's worth of rain and snow, AccuWeather Chief on Air Meteorologist Bernie Reno said. Says multiple storms will spin southward along the Pacific coast of the United States next week. Each storm will bring abundant rain and mountain snow and cause significant impacts on travel and the potential for flooding and mudslides. Parts of the West are in desperate need of moisture. Today, several daybreak will follow this week's storm along the Pacific coast as its snow and rain shift eastward, eventually affecting the south central and southeastern regions of the nation with drenching rain and thunderstorms. A storm over the Gulf of Alaska will drop southward to be just off the northwest coast late this week. Then over the weekend, the storm will begin to pivot eastward and rain will break out over parts of the coasts of Washington and Oregon. On Sunday or Sunday night, drenching rain is likely to spin into coastal areas of northern and central California. From there, low elevation rain and mountain snow will expand southward and eastward across California, then into the interior west. Multiple rounds of rain and mountain snow are likely from this storm in the west as it hovers along the California coast during the first half of the week before shifting inland. Local commuters, cross-country shippers, and airline passengers should expect travel delays due to the likelihood of flash flooding, poor visibility, and heavy snow over the passes, especially over Donner Pass along Interstate 80. It is possible the series of storms next week in California delivers close to an entire month's worth of rain. AccuWeather Chief on Air Meteorologist Bernie Reno said, multiple inches of rain will pour down in many areas while feet of snow pile up in the Sierra Nevada. Another storm may drop southward along the Pacific coast in its wake later next week and may focus more on Washington and Oregon. Much of the interior west is in desperate need of storms with ample moisture. The developing pattern through the third week of February should help. Slovakia. Since prior to this week, the amount of water locked up in the existing snow cover was close to a record minimum in Colorado and Utah, AccuWeather senior meteorologist Brett Anderson said. This zone constitutes a large part of the Colorado River Basin, and with limited spring runoff available, it could be a major problem for summer water concerns on the river and man-made lakes. In contrast to the pattern that brought some of the coldest weather in years to the Midwest and East in recent weeks, much of the western third of the nation has been very warm for months prior to recent days. Says 7 states in the West have experienced their warmest December and January period on record. The period of record dates back decades. Yeah. So basically, if the Lord does send a couple of storms their way, it could cause a lot of problems out there. If he sends multiple rounds of rain and snow, it could cause flash flooding, it could cause mudslides, landslides, poor visibility. A lot He visited the Lord Yahweh of hosts with thunder and with earthquake and great noise, with storm and tempest and the flame of devouring fire. And according to this article, there could be multiple rounds of storms headed California's way. And just as myself and the other brothers have been saying, these storms, these tempests, these fires, these earthquakes, these are exactly the kind of things that we can expect a lot more of in these last days. More intense, destructive, and deadly storms and tempests and fires and earthquakes. Isaiah 28:2, behold, the Lord hath a mighty and strong one, which has a tempest of hail and a destroying storm. As a flood of mighty waters overflowing shall cast down to the earth with the hand. And we see that when the Lord sends these storms and, there's high winds, very strong, powerful winds that could cause some destruction. The torrential rains can cause a lot of flooding. There could be power outages. There could be landslides and mudslides. A lot of things can happen when the Lord sends these storms and tempests. And we see that play out a lot of times when the Lord sends these storms. And seeing as we're in the last days, everything that we're used to as far as like rainstorms and things like that, we should expect them to be a lot more intense than they would have been 5-10 years ago. Psalms 83:14, as the fire burneth they wood, and as the flame setteth the mountains on fire. Verse 15, so persecute them with thy tempest and make them afraid with thy storm. And clearly that's what the Lord is doing. Sending these storms and tempests upon these different cities. And these different countries even. Because we can't forget about what the Lord is doing out there in Spain and Portugal with his storms. Just wreaking absolute havoc out there. So these people, they very well should be afraid of the Lord and of what he's capable of bringing to them. Baruch 4:32. Miserable are the cities which thy children serve. Miserable is she that received thy sons. And that's right. These cities are miserable because the Lord is constantly bringing judgment upon them. Earthquakes, fires, rain, snow, power outages. It's just one thing after another. And it's just going to continue to build and build as the wrath of the Lord intensifies upon this wicked place and all of these wicked cities and all of these wicked people. So with that, I'm going to wrap it up here. In closing, I'm going to give all the praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakakudas, the Wadi Bahashem, Yahushai, for putting the spirit on me to do this lesson. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Honors to all the brothers who are fervently preaching the word in sincerity and in faith, and shalom to all the sincere believers. Hope you all stay strong, stay safe, stay fervent, stay circumspect, stay prayed up. Adawan Ratazah. Till next time, shalom.